Al-Burhan says no room for coexisting with the militia again. UK sanctions 3 mercenaries, 2 militia commanders and Kaikal. Criminal says Russia will remain a responsible nuclear power despite the expiration of New START treaty. Hello and welcome. Lieutenant General Al-Burhan reiterated that there is no future for the militia in Sudan, saying we and the rebellion cannot coexist again. At the same time, he affirmed that victory is near with the defeat of the traitors and the elimination of the rebellion. Al-Burhan praised the historic role played by the people of the Takina region. He said history will record the immortal stance. During his address to the citizens of the Takina region, Al-Burhan saluted them, noting that the victory that began in Takina will continue, and that Sudan will not tolerate those who plot to create crisis. Lieutenant General Shamsuddin Kabashi gave displaced people from the Darfur and Kordofan state the good news of their imminent return to their homes. He emphasized that the government prioritized the voluntary return of displaced people to secured and cleared areas, and reconstruction efforts will begin immediately. This came during his visit to the Karari locality. Kabashi expressed his appreciation to the Khartoum government and its citizens for their hospitality and support for the displaced people. He also commended the efforts of the Humanitarian Aid Commission and their relevant authorities in providing essential services. The governor welcomed the displaced people from the Darfur and Kordofan state, assuring them that they were in their own country and among their own people. He noted that the area he visited in Karari is hosting approximately 1,000 families from Kordofan and Darfur. Interior Minister Lieutenant General Babakar Samra Mustafa criticized the international community's silence regarding the flow of weapons into Darfur and the provision of military equipment to militias by certain countries. The minister met on Wednesday with the UN panel of experts on Darfur, where he explained that several neighboring countries have not complied with Resolution 1591, which calls for the halt of arms shipment to the region. He noted that weapons are flowing into the region in large quantities and that United Arab Emirates is the main supplier, using Libya, Haftar forces, Chad and the African ports. He added that this is happening in full view of the international community, which remains silent regarding these countries. The British government announced on Thursday sanctions against 6 individuals suspected of committing atrocities in the Sudanese war and fueling the conflict by supplying mercenaries and military equipment. The government explained that these measures target senior commanders in both the Rapid Support Force and the Sudanese Armed Force. British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper, who visited the Sudanese-Chadian border this week, said in a statement, "We urgently need a ceasefire and secure humanitarian access to all those in need." Koba also added, "Through these sanctions, we will seek to dismantle the war machine used by or benefiting from the perpetrators of brutal violence in Sudan." Dr. Jibril Ibrahim, Minister of Finance, reaffirmed the current fiscal year's budget commitment to maintaining the exemption of livestock exports from value-added tax VAT, emphasizing the government's commitment to developing exports and addressing the obstacle they faced. During an extended and expanded meeting in Port Sudan on Wednesday, the minister directed the relevant authorities to facilitate livestock exports procedures Abdullah Ibrahim, Undersecretary of the Ministry, stressed the importance of adding EU value to livestock exports by focusing on processing meat and its products for export. On Wednesday, Engineer Ali Ahmed Ibrahim, Deputy Governor of the Jazeera scheme in Barakat, briefed Lieutenant General Nasra ad-Din Abdullah, General Manager of the Sudanese Cotton Company, on the damage inflicted on the project's facilities due to militia violence and the administration's effort to rebuild and improve the working environment. The Deputy Governor of the Jazeera scheme called for enhanced cooperation and coordination between the project's management and the company to increase cotton cultivation areas in the coming season. Lieutenant General Nasruddin commended the project's management reconstruction efforts, noting that the project is the backbone of the country's economy. The governor of Kassala, Major General retired Al-Sadiq Muhammad Al-Azraq, inspected today at the 41st Infantry Bridges Intelligence Branch in Kassala the seizure of large quantity of military equipment as well as drugs. The seizure took place in one of the state's outlying districts. The governor stated that the seized weapons are evidence of the scale of crime and the security threat to the state. The governor affirmed that his government and its security apparatus will not tolerate any breach of security. The Kremlin said on Thursday that Russia will continue to take a responsible approach to strategic nuclear stability, despite the expiration of the last remaining nuclear arms control treaty between Moscow and Washington. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the New START treaty, which sets limits on each side's missiles, launchers, and strategic warheads, would expire at the end of Thursday. Arms control experts had earlier said they assumed the treaty would expire at the end of Wednesday. Russia has proposed that both sides voluntarily extend the terms of the agreement for 1 year to allow time to discuss a secure treaty, a proposal to which it says the United States has never formally responded. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Thursday that the expiration of the arms treaty between the United States and Russia was regrettable and urged Washington to resume dialogue with Moscow on strategic stability. The Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty START expired at the end of Wednesday, marking the end of more than half a century of restrictions on strategic nuclear weapon for both sides. Russia said on Wednesday that it was open to security talks but would firmly confront any new threats. So this was your today's news by Sniper TV. Thank you for watching today and goodbye.